On the morning of September 11, 2001, nearly 3,000 people experienced one of the darkest days in history, the falling of the Twin Towers. Throughout the chaos and devastation, millions around the world watched in shock as the events unfolded live. And in the confusion, the terrorist group Al-Qaeda claimed responsibility, calling the attacks their masterpiece. But how did they pull off something so catastrophic? Why did they target these specific locations? And above all, what have we learned in the 23 years since that fateful day? Hello and welcome to the Bizarre Society. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the events of 9/11, what the official story says, and the conspiracy theories that have emerged in its wake. Let's get started. On that tragic morning, terrorists associated with the extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial airplanes in the United States. Their mission? To carry out coordinated attacks against high-profile targets on American soil. The first plane, American Airlines Flight 11, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City at 8:46 a.m. Just 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower. The impact of the planes, combined with the fires fueled by jet fuel, weakened the steel structure of the towers, leading to their collapse within hours. At 9:37 a.m., a third hijacked plane, American Airlines Flight 77, crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. The fourth plane, United Airlines Flight 93, was headed toward Washington, D.C., but passengers on board heroically attempted to regain control of the aircraft from the hijackers. The plane ultimately crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at 10:03 a.m., killing everyone on board but preventing further destruction. In total, nearly 3,000 people lost their lives that day, making it the deadliest terrorist attack in world history. The images of the burning towers, people jumping to their deaths, and the collapse of the World Trade Center are seared into the collective memory of everyone who witnessed them, either in person or on television. The official story, as presented by the United States government and the 9/11 Commission, is that the attacks were carried out by 19 members of Al-Qaeda, an Islamist extremist group led by Osama bin Laden. According to the report, the terrorists trained for years in preparation for the attacks, learning to fly airplanes and infiltrating the U.S. to carry out their mission. The motive? Hatred of Western values, and a desire to strike at the heart of American power. The 9/11 Commission report, published in 2004, concluded that the U.S. government had failed to recognize the signs of an impending attack, and that various agencies had not effectively communicated with each other to prevent the disaster. It was a failure of intelligence and imagination, they said, that allowed the attacks to happen. The report made several recommendations to improve national security, many of which were implemented in the following years. Following the attacks, President George W. Bush declared a war on terror, launching military operations in Afghanistan to dismantle Al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power. In 2003, the U.S. invaded Iraq, citing the need to prevent weapons of mass destruction from falling into the hands of terrorists. But despite these actions, not everyone was convinced by the official reports. Questions started to arise. How could such a massive failure of security occur? Why did the towers collapse so quickly and symmetrically? And how did a group of terrorists manage to outmaneuver the most powerful nation on Earth? In the wake of these questions, several conspiracy theories began to circulate. One of the most popular conspiracy theories is that the Twin Towers didn't collapse solely because of the planes and the subsequent fires. Instead, some believe the buildings were actually brought down by explosives placed inside them, similar to how old buildings are demolished on purpose. Here's why they think that. The towers fell straight down and very quickly, almost like how buildings do when experts demolish them in a controlled manner. This led some people to theorize that explosives were secretly placed inside the buildings and set off to ensure their collapse. As the buildings were falling, small bursts of dust and debris shot out from the sides. Supporters of this theory suggest that these bursts might have been caused by hidden explosives going off inside the towers. They also point to another building, World Trade Center Building 7, or WTC 7. This was a smaller building near the Twin Towers that also collapsed later that day, even though it wasn't hit by a plane. The official explanation is that debris from the Twin Towers caused fires in WTC 7, which eventually led to its collapse. However, some people believe WTC-7 was also brought down by explosives, just like they think happened with the Twin Towers. If you think this theory is wild, here's another one. Some believe that the plane that hit the Pentagon was actually a missile, not a plane. They argue that the hole left in the Pentagon after the impact was too small to have been made by a commercial airplane. Additionally, the lack of visible plane debris on the site has led some to suggest that something else, possibly a missile, was responsible for the destruction. However, this theory has been widely debunked. Numerous eyewitnesses and video footage confirm that a plane did indeed crash into the Pentagon. Despite this, the theory still persists among some. Another speculation around 9/11s is that it was pre-planned and known by influential individuals in the country. This idea stems from the unusual increase in the trading of put options on the stocks of United Airlines, American Airlines, and other companies directly impacted by the attacks. A put option is essentially a bet that a stock's price will drop. The high volume of these trades led some to believe that certain investors might have had prior knowledge of the attacks and were trying to profit from the disaster. The 9/11 Commission looked into these claims and concluded that the trading activity wasn't connected to any insider knowledge of the attacks. One of the most far-reaching conspiracy theories about 9/11 is the belief that it was a false flag operation, a term used to describe a covert operation designed to deceive, making it appear as though it was carried out by other entities. In this theory, the idea is that the US government or other powerful groups staged or allowed the attacks to happen, then blamed them on Al-Qaeda to justify military invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, increase government surveillance on citizens, and push forward a larger agenda for global control. Supporters of this theory often point to something called the Project for the New American Century, PNAC, a think tank that included several individuals who later held key positions in the Bush administration. In a report published in 2000, PNAC discussed the need for the US to assert its military dominance globally, suggesting that achieving this goal would be difficult without a catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. Conspiracy theorists believe that 9/11s served as the event that justified the government's decision to go to war in Afghanistan and Iraq. They argue that this was done intentionally to rally public support for the wars and to expand government power. These theories are certainly provocative, and while most have been debunked, they continue to fuel debate and speculation. The unanswered questions and anomalies surrounding 9/11s make it an event that is still re-examined and questioned today. What do you think happened on 9/11s? Do you believe the official story? Or do you think there's more to it as these theories allude? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the most controversial events and people. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.